Big time.
On today's episode of Big Time, the podcast brought to you by BJ's Tavern, Fort Kent, Maine, everybody's favorite bar. We are joined by our first non-St. John Valley native, but nonetheless made quite the impact during his time at the University of Maine at Fort Kent. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode of Big Time, my main man, Wuggy, Bassue. Let's go.
I'm on my way, I'm making it. Big time. I got to make it show, yeah. Big time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of this thing we call Big Time. Sorry for the delay. It's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks since we've been at it. It's been a busy time working on some other projects, but back with the show. And today we are joined by our first non-Valley resident, but he had a standout, stellar career at the greatest university in the Maine, university in the state, the University of Maine at Fort Kent's own Hamil Wuggy Bassue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On Big Time.
Big time. What's going on, Tomas?
What can you give him a big time real quick? How do you say big time?
Big time.
Okay.
I gotta get the child. Can I get the child bars? Big time.
Yeah. Let me hear the Charles Boy.
This is my interpretation of Charlie D, or impersonation rather. Big time.
That's
It's a big time.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close.
We go with that.
Yeah. What's going on though? How you been?
Good. So, second question is always, what is my guest sipping on tonight?
I think I got some vodka and some ginger ale in here.
More vodka than ginger ale, but that's what it is. What it is.
Tom invited me over, and I think he's trying to kill me before I even finish the show. So
it's all I got. It's all I had in the fridge. It's all I had in the cupboard. So we make do with what we have. That's what we got. So I'm gonna just give everyone a little bit of a heads up. It's Saturday night when we're recording this. March Madness in full effect. My team's playing right now. I'm a huge Michigan fan, so you might hear me cuss or fucking complain in the background, depending on how things go. Right now we're down 4-1. We'll see what happens. But let's get to it, guys. So first non-St. John Valley representative on Big Time.
It's a pleasure.
Wuggy, tell them where you're from, first of all.
Born and raised in St. Kitts, small little island in the Caribbean.
What are we talking about for population?
Man, maybe 30,000.
And what are we talking about for like just size of the island? How big is the island?
They try to tell us it's 72 square miles. They try to, but it feels more like 10, to be honest with you.
10 square miles is what it feels like. Okay. Yeah. And whereabouts, what are we talking about? Like in response to everybody, like all the other islands in the Caribbean, where we at?
So, most people are familiar with St. Martin. A lot of tourists go to St. Martin, so you can actually see like the silhouette of St. Martin from certain points in St. Kitts, down in Big Show side of the island.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to Big Show. You see, I had to drop a Big Show.
Yeah, we'll get to Big Show later on. One question I want to get cleared up real quick before we get into anything else. Is it the Caribbean? What's the correct way to say this here? I don't want to keep, Caribbean. Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, Caribbean. You say potato, I say potato. Somebody say something else. Don't matter. We just know what you're talking about.
We're teaching people stuff here on Big Time as well. Educating. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned from the island of St. Kitts, small island nation in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. 30,000?
About 30. We'll take 40. We'll take whatever you give us.
Now, it's a small island. How many indoor basketball courts are we talking about on the island?
Zero.
Okay. So
zero.
No indoor basketball courts on the entire island.
Yeah.
And I should probably mention before we even get any further, for those of you that are not familiar with Wuggy, I don't know why you wouldn't be. He's a staple up there up in the valley. Everyone knows him now. But came to UMFK, played all 4 years. Basketball, superstar, right? 1,000-point scorer.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Got there.
So you came to Fort Kent to play basketball. What'd you play growing up?
What did I play? Sport-wise?
Yeah.
Soccer. We say football. So, but my favorite sport was cricket. played cricket, and I did some track and field. Yeah.
That's interesting. I honestly was a cricket player.
Yeah,
I still don't know the rules of cricket.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
That's the sport that can go like 12 hours, right?
Go as long as you want. They have different variations of it. You know, you go from a test match, which can be, you know, a 5-day event, or you can do you know, some 1 day, you know, they call them 20-20 now. It's a big thing in the Caribbean. You play 20 over, 6 balls and over. It's interesting though. It's interesting.
I can't get into it.
Yeah. It's it'll take up the whole show.
Some track and field, some cricket going up, some football. What are we talking about for like competition? Like, not too many people on the island. How many different schools are we talking about on the island, or how did it work?
Jeez. So we talking like basketball or just sports?
So just like growing up, because like we have youth programs up here and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got all kinds of different competition for different level, from preschool to what we call primary school, which is pretty much anything between kindergarten to 6th grade, and then you got you know, your high school levels after that. We technically only go to like 11 grades, whereas you guys go to 12, so that's
Correct.
a little bit different. But yeah, every school compete. Track and field is huge back home, so you got this thing we call intersports, where you have pretty much all the different schools in every different division, whether it's primary school, high school, junior high, that compete against each other and give your school bragging rights throughout the islands. There's about 7 to 8, might be more now, high schools, but when I was there, about 7 or 8.
What's the powerhouse? What's the powerhouse on the island?
Well, if you're talking, well, you are talking to me, so forever's gonna be Washi. That's Washington Archibald High School.
Yep.
So that's where I went. Powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I mean, it can't be too hard to be a powerhouse with 6 or 7 schools, right?
It could be. There's a lot of different athletes, man. We spread out. We definitely spread out.
So when did basketball come in the picture?
Yeah, late.
I'm guessing like it can't be like, you think about the Caribbean, like there's not really any islands that like basketball islands. Like track and field is big in Jamaica and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got track and field and football, soccer. That's about it.
Yeah. So where did basketball come to play? Especially like no indoor basketball courts, nothing like that.
So we play basketball in hurricanes. No matter what, the winds, rain,
kind of like people in Indiana play in the wintertime outside.
Yeah, don't stop.
So I'm guessing when you're playing hurricanes, there's no jump shots being taken, just straight layups.
You'd be surprised. Get buckets, man. We get buckets.
Yeah.
As you can tell, when I first came to Maine, my jump shot was broken.
Correct.
So I didn't shoot because the wind was too strong.
Yeah.
So it was all layups. But basketball started for me late. I started basketball when I was probably like 14 going on 15. I was probably like a year and a half into my basketball, probably 2 years into my basketball career before I came to Fort Kent.
There's so you're like Joel Embiid, like you picked up a ball like at 15.
Yeah, it was big.
Didn't make the NBA.
It was Big Show's brother. So shout out to Trey.
Let's get to Trey Gonza. Gonza, right? So he was UMFK's original Saint Kittition, right? Yeah,
he's the first. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we call him the first. I'll be the original, but we could call him. Okay. I had the better career.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that.
They say LeBron James been patting himself on the back, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back.
Go for it. Yeah. So Trey came up here to UMFK like in 2002, 2003.
Actually saw him on that video you just posted with
Clavette.
Clavette with the 2-hand slam, huh?
Impressive.
Look at that. Wow. Yeah. Who say County boys ain't got no bounce?
I know, right?
It's a lie.
But was Trey like one of the first dudes who kind of left the island and went and played college ball in the States, or do you guys have guys?
We had a lot of talent that I didn't know about for people who went overseas and college and stuff and actually had careers prior to Trey. But I wasn't a basketball player. I wasn't into basketball back then, so I didn't know about them.
Right.
But the more I got involved in basketball over the last 2 years, thanks in most part to Trey, then it turned out to be quite a few. We had, from my recollection, at least a solid probably 15, 16 guys that had already went out.
Anybody go any place big, or was it all big?
We had a couple guys that went to some D1 schools, Low level D1. One dude, actually, I think it was St. Francis or St. John's that he actually went to. But growing up in the island, sometimes you come up in a rough neighborhood, rough patch.
Yeah.
You take a kid from an island and put him in a city without supervision.
Yeah.
It could go bad.
Kind of like when you came to Fort Kent.
No.
So, at what point were you thinking? Because you were late to the game of basketball. At what point were you thinking, like, man, I'm gonna try to go somewhere, get out of here, and go play some college ball?
Yeah, it kind of happened unknowingly to me. So, long story short, after Big Show's brother came back to the islands, he kind of put some guys together and asked us to play basketball for the high school that he came to my high school to teach.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have been too far behind him. Because you probably came back like 04.
Mm-hmm. So once he came back, he started coaching us and stuff like that. And then we got this little community league that we have throughout the islands, and I started playing in the junior division there. And I got some recognition, and I made the St. Kitts junior national team my last year of high school. So before I graduated or went to my prom or anything like that, we actually traveled to Trinidad and played in a tournament down, a Caribbean tournament, played against all the different Caribbean islands, so like Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Antigua, all these different islands. And when I got back to St. Kitts, it was pretty much, hey, you're going to college, is what I was told. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to college, thinking college on the islands, not knowing that, Trey and my mom was working on getting me into college, like in Fort Kent. And before you know it, my mom said, okay, you're going to Maine, and you don't question.
Just like that.
Yeah, you don't really question mom. Mom OG. So, yeah, mom said you're going to Maine, and didn't know where I was going. But that was an interesting first day in Maine.
No doubt. So,
interesting.
Prior to coming to UMFK actually for school, had you been in the States at all, or was Maine your first stop in the States?
First stop in the States.
Lucky for you, like you saw the most beautiful place in the country.
That's our vacation land. I don't know. I don't know about these other cities, but they ain't got nothing on the county. What we say, big time?
Big time.
County is big time compared to any other place in the world, man.
Let me hear about your travel date. Your first time to the States, to Maine. So where'd you fly into? Because the airport that you flew into was random as hell to begin with, right?
Yeah. So left St. Kitts at like 5, probably like 7 in the morning, right? 7 in the morning, probably the first flight out. And fly from St. Kitts, land in Miami, connect, and flew to Boston, not knowing I was connecting and flying to Boston. So we was flying into Boston. I'm seeing skyscrapers. I'm seeing all these different tall buildings and stuff. Never seen a building, taller than about 4 stories. So here I'm seeing these big stuff, and I'm excited. Then we land, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I like this. It's a city. I've never been to America. I like this. It's what I've seen on TV. And then they told us we had another connecting flight. At first, I actually thought Maine was in Europe. I didn't thought Maine was in the US, to be honest with you, because I never heard of it. So then we're flying to Boston. They tell us we're going to connect and actually go to Maine. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to Europe now. So we go up, and about 45 minutes later, we come back down, maybe not even that long, and we land in Augusta.
You flew into Augusta?
Augusta, Maine.
Who flies into Augusta?
So, yeah. So, and I left St. Kitts, like I said, 7 o'clock in the morning. It was probably 82 degrees.
Yeah.
This is August 31st, by the way. I can remember like last day of August when I flew out. And so we land in Augusta, and we're about to come off the plane, and it is freezing. It is cold. And I look at not knowing much about temperatures or anything like that, but people are walking around in shorts and wife beaters, and I'm freezing. So we get our luggage, me and my sister and Arcilla. It was me, my sister, Arcilla, and my sister's mom. And we change and put our jackets on because we're freezing. And everybody's looking at us like we crazy or we got 4 heads or something. So sure enough, Coach Kenny, Jeff Kinney, shout out to Jeff Kinney. That's a big time shout out. You gotta get Jeff on one of these podcasts.
He deserves.
He's probably one of the funniest dudes I know.
Yep.
But he picks us up and he throws us in a van.
Wait a second. Before we keep going, what was the temperature when you landed?
It probably was, I would say a solid 69, 70.
69, 70 degrees.
Yeah. But, I've never witnessed anything that cold in my life, so I was freezing. So I had a Green Bay Packers jacket.
It looked just like the scene from the movie Cool Runnings when they get up to Calgary.
Pretty much. That's exactly what I felt like.
But it's August instead of winter. Yeah. Okay.
So then Kenny pick us up, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do this because it's cold or whatever. But then he drives off the airport, and it's like a Wendy's, and the Wendy's and a Burger King or something like that was there. And I was like, okay. So we stopped, grabbed something to eat. He said, hey guys, we got a long trip ahead of us. Get ready. He didn't say how long. He just said we got a long trip. Yeah. All right. So we get on the highway, and for some reason down in Augusta, there's a sign that says University of Maine at Fort Kent, exit 264. Yeah. So I don't know anything about exits because there's no highways. You don't realize that you're at mile marker 104 at that point, or 106. Well, I don't even know. Even if I knew I was at mile marker 104, I wouldn't even know because we don't have highways, so I don't understand it, right? So I'm like, oh, the university right around the corner. So St. Kitts is small. You could drive around St. Kitts with no highways going 40 miles an hour max in 35, 40 minutes. And we got to go to Fort Kent. So we driving an hour later. I'm like, we just saw the sign an hour ago. How could we not be there? Yeah. He's like, oh, we still got ways to go. Yeah. That's all he said.
He didn't give you specifics?
Nah, we just got ways to go still. I'm like, all right. So we get into what now I know is Bangor, and I see the mall and I see the McDonald's and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. We could do this. It got lights. Mm-hmm. But he kept driving. And we go past Bangor, and after that, it was no lights on the highway. It was just pure darkness. Yeah. And we're freaking out at this point in time. We pull off the highway in Sherman, which is what I know now is exit 264.
Yes.
So I kind of put, 2 and 2 together and say, okay, we're at exit 264. We've been driving for 3 hours at that point in time. I'm like, we're close. Yeah. We got to be close now. We're there. And so he gas up at the Irving. And he said, all right, guys, we got about 2 more hours. And Kenny, my first time meeting this guy, is that, he's a funny guy. So I didn't know if he was making joke or he was serious. So I was, kind of laugh it off. And then he started driving down what now I know is Route 11, going through the woods, through Patton and those type of stuff. And so when you're from the islands and you're going to a foreign place and not knowing why this guy's picking you up and driving you through the woods, which there's no woods in St. Kitts or in the Caribbean, you start thinking maybe this wasn't a good idea to jump in a car with a stranger.
Absolutely.
So we're driving and he slams on his brakes. And when he slammed on his brake, my sister, myself, we all kind of, popped up and looked up and like what's going on? And he was like, oh, it's a moose. I was like, what the hell is a moose? We never heard of that word before. So we look out the window and I'm like, shit, that's a... Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure, I was like, shit, that's a big ass donkey. And he's like, what the hell, man? He's like, it's not a donkey, it's a moose. I was like, that's a donkey. He's like, no, it's a moose. I don't know what a moose is. I've never heard of it before. So he's like, nah, it's a moose, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. Never seen these type of animals before. Those shits are scary. Yeah. They are big. I actually had a close encounter with one on the 4-wheeler by your mom. Yeah. But we continue driving and he keeps stopping all the time and pointing out these different animals. And I kind of looked at my sister and I was like, look, if he stopped this shit one more time, because the only thing I can think of when we're driving through the woods and there's no lights or nothing is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. So when he kept slamming on his brake and shit, I kind of looked at my sister and I was like, look, okay, if you stop this van again, like, we're going to kick his ass. and pretty much turn around and go. I said, we can't miss it. We took one turn from the airport. We came straight down the highway. We took a left, got by the gas station, and we've been straight ever since. So we just got to go back because I wasn't sure what he was doing. But like I said, we left at 7 in the morning. And when we got to Fort Kent, it was probably like 2:30, almost 3 o'clock the following morning when we was on campus. So needless to say, I didn't get to see the town of Fort Kent when we first came in the first day. So I wasn't sure where I was at. I just knew I drove and there was no lights. And I felt like I was in the middle of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I can see that. I could understand that. I could definitely understand that for someone visiting the area for the first time, especially under the circumstances. So eventually you did make it. And I remember hearing about you because I was me and you were freshmen the same year, and I remember Eric saying we got a kid coming from St. Kitts and all this stuff. But as I recall, like you were kind of like a throw-in in the package, right? Like the big recruit was Janice. Janice was like the prize recruit out of this package.
I didn't understand that. You know, I mean, I guess they was trying to short sell me. I didn't know.
Yeah,
but you know, Janice was the big name. Arcella is just a tank. We all know that now.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a bully going throughout high school and stuff. She used to get in fights all the time. Don't let her tell you anything differently. She was a brute. But Janice was the pride and joy that she was the main attraction for this thing. But you know, I made the best of it, I guess.
Yeah. So you show up. Your freshman year would have been 05, the same freshman year as me.
Yep.
And you come to a team coached by one Eric Warrington.
Shout out to S.
Yeah. So you come in as a freshman, and you were young. You were what, a 17-year-old freshman?
Yeah, just turned 17.
Turned 17, and you like you said, you showed up with a broken jumper. So back then you played power forward.
Yeah.
And what were you weighing in at freshman year?
144, solid 144. That was all muscle, by the way. Don't get it twisted.
144 pounds,
6'2",
17-year-old kid from the island playing power forward in Maine college basketball.
Yeah. Felt like I was 6'8", 500 though. Don't mess it up.
So how'd that first year go?
It was interesting.
We were still part of the Sunrise at that point, right?
Yeah, we're still part of Sunrise. Linden State was a part of our conference. That was last year. Linden State was part of that conference.
Yeah.
But freshman year was interesting.
Yeah, Fisher was there. Machias was there. Yep. Linden State,
St. Joseph, Vermont.
What was the other team in Vermont Tech? Maybe.
Nope, Vermont Tech wasn't there yet. Yeah, Vermont Tech was there. You're right.
Paul Smith, maybe.
No, Paul Smith wasn't. Paul Smith came in after Linden State left. Yeah. But Machias,
so
was there.
Humpy might have been in the conference still at that point.
Nah, they weren't. But we smacked the dog crap out of them. See, I said crap.
Always.
Big times.
Do you remember your first college game at all? It would have been a Bengal tip-off, right?
I don't, to be honest with you.
The first year wasn't a great year, to be honest, right?
Well, my first year was a great year for me
individually.
Yeah, second half was the first semester. It was more of a culture shock. Mm-hmm. Like my second day in Fort Kent, after I woke up after that crazy trip, thought I was gonna die, and Kenny was trying to kidnap us. Lucas came to the dorms to pick up the girls, of course, because like you said, they were the pride and joy, and took us around town. So we leave the dorm, we drive down Pleasant Street.
Yep.
We get to the stoplight.
Yep. One of the two.
We took a left, went down to BJ's in the International Bridge. We turned around, went back to Rite Aid. Then we turned around and came back and went to the gym. And he was like, "That's the town." And I was like, "Oh boy, what did we get ourselves into?" And then we walked into the gym. They actually had something going on. I think that was like for soccer. I think it was it soccer? There was something going on. Because coach, I met Coach in the gym, and then when we walked out from the gym, I actually met you that day.
Yeah,
you was in the weight room.
Yeah, getting big.
Yeah, you was in the weight room. We chopped it up for a little bit. Told me you was going to be on the team. I think that's when me and you actually kind of hit it off from that point on, which obviously panned out pretty good.
Yeah, we're still tight.
Yeah, we're still cool.
Still tight.
Cool, you know what I mean? I still tolerate you. I don't know if I like you that much, but still tolerate you. But no, it was interesting. I think it was more of a culture shock. Like when you took me under your wing, man, and your parents and family took me in, and that's something that I hold close to my heart. So shout out to all the Bards, from Papa Joey to Mama Bard, to the legend himself, Legs Labby. All you guys, I consider you guys to be family. Sammy, Charlito. D-Town. Don't have to say who D-Town is, but
we already know. We know who it is.
Who it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a culture shock being in Fort Kent, Maine, and being able to leave your doors open. Never been able to do that. Mm-hmm. I remember we went to I think it was Hannaford, that day. First time you took me to Hanford, and you left your car running. And I looked at you like, I said, "What are you doing?" He was like,
windows down.
Yeah,
running.
windows down, keys in car running. I was like, "What are you doing? You're not going?" He's like, "Why?" I was like, guess I'm in a different world." But it's culture shock. People wasn't used. I think people weren't used to seeing the ethnicity. And just being a black guy kind of stood out, so people knew I was new.
That was kind of a transition period for Fort Kennedy because we had some black athletes, but this was like pre Jamaican takeover.
Yeah, I mean, we was coming in heavy.
Yeah,
I mean, we was coming in. I mean, me, Janice, and Arcelo, that was 3 off the bat.
Yeah,
and then right after that, we had Chicken. Dwayne Smith came in.
Yeah, and
then after he came,
Barry,
the whole Jamaican goal opened up.
Oniki,
everybody, Wally. You got Dr. C West, he's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. There's just Jody.
Jody, yeah. Arnold
was from Africa, but
same thing. It's all good.
Yeah, but it was a transition. But the first half of the season, going back to the question, the first half of the season, it was interesting. It was rough. I didn't quite know what my role on the team was. Didn't know how I was gonna fit in. My jump shot was broke, but I had a lot of heart, and I played defense. So I figured if I just focus on that at some point in time, coach might recognize me. And an unfortunate situation happened. I think it was when Russo, one of the Russo twins punched a locker room, punched a locker and broke his hand, fractured his hand, and coach gave me the call to start. It was we actually had a Halifax trip. It was December. We had a Halifax trip at King's College. And
great tournament, by the way. For those that have not been out to Halifax is an incredible city.
Going out there in June.
Yeah, and the college basketball scene in Halifax is dope. Like, they got like 4 colleges in the city. Tremendous atmosphere. Great tournament. Go ahead, look.
But he fractured his hand, and coach gave me the call out there at King's College and put me in the starting lineup. I think I had probably one of my top 10 best games of my college career that day, and ever since then, he kept me in the starting lineup. So
what'd you freshman year? Would you wind up like? What were the numbers for the year? Maybe like almost a double, right? Maybe like 10 points, like 7 boards.
Sipping, so I'm burping a little bit. Yeah, I think I was around like. Probably I can tell you the statistics. I was like 9.87 points a game. Don't ask me how I know that. It just kind of stuck with me. I was about 6.5, 7 rebounds a game. Turned the ball over a couple, like LeBron. Kind of patting my game after him. I had about 2 steals a game. So I was solid. I was playing against guys that were at least 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and at least 50 pounds. At least. But I held my own. I got robbed for Rookie of the Year in Sunrise Conference.
Did you get any accolades at all?
I did. I won Rookie of the Year like 14 out of the 14 weeks out of like 18 weeks.
Who got Rookie of the Year?
Steve Rice from Fisher. That's my dude.
Yeah.
I wish I gotta catch up with him. I still got Louis. Louis Williams, the one with the dreads. Yeah. I got him on Facebook. I gotta catch up with Rice. I hope hopefully he's doing good. Hopefully his
Fisher
family's
had
good.
some squads though.
They did. Newcomb, Perry. Perry was nice.
Damn.
Newcomb was tough, but Perry was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, they gave Rice, but I did make second team all conference my freshman year. That was good. I think that was a good accomplishment.
What was it?
Second team all conference.
Your rookie year?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. All right. So as I said, like the first year's team, like I ain't gonna lie, like we had we forgot a name on our freshman year team. Darius.
Oh my God! What a picklock, man! Why to pick a lot?
Yeah, I forgot about.
How can we forget Parker? So he was the chart. Hey, classic. No athletic bone in his body. Not
Parker's
one.
that guy that plays for like some mid-major out like in the Midwest, like goes to like fucking Drake University or
he is
South Dakota State. Like that's Parker, one of those guys that just gets
how did we forget
like, what?
Parker?
What is this guy?
My apologies, Parker. If you ever hear this podcast, my good luck, Tom.
Parker's listening to the podcast right now, still wearing his green UMFK tracksuit.
He is. He's UMFK
dipping and drinking some beer. Shout
I
out to
mean,
Parker.
he probably if charge was a stat, like taking charges was a stat, he will be the all-time leader in any conference.
Would lead the country every year.
Any conference, don't matter.
Yeah.
Any conference.
So
Took a charge.
yeah. So like,
Pissed me off.
our team was a little rough that freshman year. Sophomore year though got a little bit better, right?
Freshman year, it was. I mean, we made it to the final four. We made it to the final
lost
four,
to Linden
and
State.
then lost to Linden State. I think we lost by like 10. I think that was our biggest loss actually.
Yeah.
Lost by 10.
And then second year was better though. G came in.
Yep. G came in. You
Who
know,
else we
G was a 6'4", 6'5" point guard. He's probably like the third or fourth tallest guy on the team. But he came in. He gave us. I think he gave us a edge that we needed.
He was feisty.
He gave us an edge that we needed at a point guard position.
Yeah.
Redis always had heart. Redis played hard, but I think Redis was more of a score type point guard. Where G took pride in like locking you down, getting in your face, trash talking, and I think a lot of the guys that we had on the team thrived off of that. Like I like people that talk shit.
Yeah.
I don't really talk much shit, I don't think. But maybe I'm lying. But I like the fact that G used to do that. He kind of push, you know what I mean? When you see your point guard, the guy that has the ball, you know, most of the time and he's leading by example, then you kind of just follow that lead. Kind of get chippy with everybody.
Yeah.
So, but sophomore year we did good. You know, I think we lost in the finals sophomore year.
Yeah, we played.
We lost in the finals every year after that.
I think we played St. Joe's.
That
right?
hurt.
It was in Vermont.
Sophomore year we lost to Fisher.
In the championship. We beat St. Joe's in the Final Four.
Lost to Fisher.
Yeah.
Pissed me off. Newcomb, I hate you still. Perry was graduated.
Fisher had them squats though.
They were tough.
Yeah.
They were tough. I mean, that was the best games. Like we got up to play those games, and I think they got up to play us as well. I think that was the game that you kind of circled on the calendar.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What was the weight gain from freshman year to sophomore year?
I went from about 144 to a solid 148.
Okay. It wasn't that much. It was
148.
Incremental.
Yeah, 148. I mean, it's muscle. You know,
Yeah.
muscle mass. So just take that into consideration, folks. I did more push-ups than I usually did in regards to hitting the weights. Tom tried to take me in there a couple of times. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. He was young. You were only 18 your sophomore year.
Yeah. Still coming into my own.
Yeah. So the team got a little bit better from freshman to sophomore year, and then you lost your man. I stepped away. I dropped out of school. I was a college dropout.
Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of went. I think I kind of went through a depression state.
Yeah.
That would have been sophomore year. Yeah,
Junior year. I moved away. I dropped out of school.
Yeah, I think I kind of went through a depression state because that's when I kind of actually gained weight.
Yeah.
You know? So
it makes sense now.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
It kind of come full circle. You know, I went from about $148 to a solid 165.
At least. I mean, it could have also been that tremendous Nallen Hall cafeteria food. But before we get to that, we're going to get into our segment here. We got to get to our first round of questions. Ladies and gentlemen, the segment sweeping the nation. This little thing we call Ethan Asks on Big Time.
You can only imagine.
You know Ethan, right?
I know Ethan Raymond.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still kind of upset, Ethan. I ain't getting no invite to the wedding and stuff. I know we wasn't like close, but I think I was close to the bards. I think I would have got the extended invitation.
Yeah, like if the bards get invited, then Wuggy should be invited. We'll talk about this later. Anyway, round one of Ethan Asks on Big Time.
Today's version of Ethan Asks Big Time Questions. Wuggy, I gotta know, man. I don't even know where the fuck the nickname Wuggy comes from. You guys may have already talked about this in the show already, but that's my first question for you. What's the story behind that?
That's the story.
It's a great question.
That's a phenomenal question.
Well, you mentioned it early on, like because I think everyone just knows you as Wuggy.
Yeah.
I might be the only person that calls you by your real name sometimes.
Yeah, that don't even exist sometimes.
Yeah, so the real name is Samil Bassue.
Something like that.
Do you even have a middle name? Or you don't do it in the Caribbean?
I mean, I do have a middle name. It's interesting.
You don't want to share it, or
I can share it. I mean, My first name Hamill actually came from Mark Hamill,
The fucking
the actor,
Star Wars
guy. Luke. I'm Luke Skywalker. Yeah, interesting fact. Bet you didn't know that. I don't know what the hell my mom was
There
thinking.
we go.
She actually let my godmother name me.
Okay.
So my godmother was a big Star Wars fan. She named me after Mark Hamill, and then I guess she was a big fan of actors because my godmother gave me my middle name, and it's Voight.
Voight. Oh, fucking
John Voight, Angelina Jolie's dad. It's the craziest thing. Like, it's the furthest I promised myself I wasn't gonna curse, but it's fucked up.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
All right. So where does Wuggy come from?
So
I'm learning new shit.
this is yeah, everybody learn. So this is kind of interesting. Supposedly, you know, I've known myself as Wuggy since I've known myself, but supposedly it was said that when I was growing up, my mom, you know, you tickle your kids, you tickle your babies, and you go woogie, 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 woogie. That's what she used to do. And then as I got a little bit older, and you want to teach your kid their name, she wanted to call me by my name, and she would say Hamil, 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 and I wouldn't react. But every time she said Woogie, I would turn. So
Woogie's what it is.
Woogie's what it is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, a good question, Ethan. But yeah, just forget about the middle name, okay, guys?
From now on, it's fucking Luke Skywalker is what we're gonna call
Luke Skywalker. That should be my new moniker.
This is like a breaking news St. John Valley Times special edition.
Yeah,
fucking incredible stuff.
Yeah, I actually learned that probably like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, you didn't even know?
Didn't even know. I kind of just questioned myself and say, "What the hell is a Hamil?"
Yeah.
Where does Voight come from?
You pronounce it Hamil. But like it's Hamill, isn't it?
Well, it depends on where you like. Since I've been in America, everybody try to, I've changed the way I pronunciate a lot of words.
I call you two things. I call you Hamilton.
Yep.
And then I also call you Hamilly.
Interesting fact.
Hamilly was.
You want some fact finding?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
Guess where he was born and raised?
On the island of St. Kitts.
Right on Nevis. Sister Island, Nevis.
No
but yeah,
shit.
Founding father of America. Got some Caribbean blood in him.
Listen to this.
When you guys see me, you should call me the founding father.
Oh my god.
Okay, I got more in common than him than you guys do.
Let's just go with Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker. Luke. I like that.
Let's get back to it then. So junior year is when things kind of turn around at UMFK. So Jimmy Lopez, that would have been, is that Jimmy's senior year or were you and Jimmy?
No, me and Jimmy came in the same year.
Okay. So Jimmy, this is when Jimmy was in fucking straight up assassin mode.
Beast mode. Okay. I'm gonna back up a little bit, right? Because I have to say this. Freshman year, when we all got into the gym, the first time ever going into the gym to play pickup with the team, for some reason I was the last person in the gym. I'm not gonna say that I'm never on time, but for some reason I was the last person in the gym. And when I got picked up, they told me I had to guard that guy. They just said, go guard him.
It was Jimmy?
Yeah. And I'm like, that's easy. It's a chubby kid over there. I go guard him.
Chubby, tatted up.
Chubby, just chunky, right? And so I'm like, okay. But everybody kept being like, didn't want to guard him, and I didn't understand why until he got the ball in the first possession.
Splash.
And fucking crossed the shit out of me. And I'm like, oh, it sounds wrong for me to say, but I'm gonna say it. I was like, he's too chubby to be moving that fast.
Yeah.
But he crossed the shit out of me and then hit me with a step back 3-point shot. And
splash.
Yeah.
And when Jimmy
Welcome
shoots,
to Jimmy Lopez.
When Jimmy shoots, there's no such thing as hitting rim.
Nah.
Every Jimmy Lopez
if he
is a splash.
He makes it, it's splash. If he miss it, it's back rim.
Yeah.
It's one or two things. So it's no, yeah. I learned my lesson then. So I tried to face guard him and make sure he didn't touch the ball for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and he still found a way to get buckets.
Still found a way to get a bucket.
So
it was good.
So yeah, Jimmy, G was still there. Sophomore year.
G was there. Eddie was still there.
Big Show.
Big Show came.
Big Show second year.
Big Show came. No, first year.
Yeah, you're right.
Big Show first year.
Yeah.
Big Show came. We had Goran. Goran was there.
A young Sam Bard.
Oh my God. Sam, stay off the words, man.
Yeah.
Stay off the words. Jeez. Sam Bard came in. We had one kid on the team named, was Tom Ellis on the team? Tom Elias.
Tom Elias.
Tom Elias was on the team at that point in time.
Yeah.
Karate chop Big Show and the Juggler.
Oof.
Almost killed Big Show. That was probably our best. I think that was our best. No, actually, back up. Senior year. Senior year probably was our best all-around team.
Yeah.
We had B Fox.
Yeah. We'll get to the senior year. So what happened? Junior year, you guys went to the championship game again?
Junior year, we went to the championship. Okay, so this one hurt. My junior year is a year that I tried not to relive as good as it was.
Yeah.
That one hurt. I think that was my first time I actually cried after losing the actual game.
The championship?
Yeah. St. Joe's.
It was at St. Joe's again?
No.
Lost to St. Joe's.
We lost to St. Joe.
Richie Ortega. Shout out to Richie.
It's not even Richie Ortega. I mean, Richie Ortega is a beast. Shout out to Ric Flair, man. You are an absolute beast. Shout out to Richie, but it was, oh my God. If he ever listened to this, he's probably gonna be laughing. But it was Doug Childs.
I don't remember the name.
Dougie
I remember they had a solid
squad.
But you guys shouldn't have lost though.
Had a solid squad. Doug Childs. Rui Carmo was on that team. Carmo, Hispanic kid that played with the grill. Yeah, he got player of the year that year, playing against St. Joe's. I mean, this is going down to the wire. Probably like a minute and a half left in the game. You know, we're up by probably like 2 or 3 points. I can't even recall it. I try to block this thing out of my head so much. But they forced a turnover. And Doug Childs catches the ball in the corner and knocks down a 3-point shot to put him up. And I want to say we got the ball, inbounded it to Jimmy Lopez down court, and Jimmy rised up to shoot a 3. And I think Coach called a timeout while Jimmy was going up into his shooting motion. Calls a timeout. The referee awards him with the timeout, but Jimmy actually switches the 3.
Oh.
Jimmy actually swishes the damn 3, which would have put us back up ahead. But Coach had already initiated the timeout and got awarded the timeout. And we came out of the timeout to inbound the ball. I had the ball. I was about to inbound it. Throw an inbound pass, and out of nowhere, freaking Rui Carmo comes and poke it out of one. I think it was Dave or Billy, one of the Russo's hands. Pokes it out of one of their hands, and they get it and go down and score again, and we fucking lose the championship.
Yeah, I remember this shit was at this one was at SMCC
right in Portland.
I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking crushing defeat.
Oh my God. And then they try to tell me to line up and go shake hands.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cursing, but no, I'm going to cry. I'm sorry.
I actually tried to console you. I was like, let me go see my boy real quick.
God, it was bad.
But you know what though? So like that was like your saddest day as a UMFK athlete. But you know what? Your fellow St. Catition on that same day, Arcilla, had the most dominant championship performance of all time.
I mean,
Arcilla had what, like 38 points?
Yeah, 38 and 20 or something like that. 38 points, 20 boards.
Yeah, she like missed like one shot the entire game.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of. Yeah. Unreal. Yeah. Unreal.
So that was the most crushing defeat.
It was good and bad. It was bittersweet because, you know.
Because that was the first time the girls.
Yeah.
That was the first time that team was going to nationals.
Yeah.
It had been a couple years since they had won. Yeah. And then you came that close to winning it would have been the first conference championship for the boys team.
Yeah. 3 times.
Yeah.
3 straight years.
Nah, at that point.
Sophomore year.
Well, this is your junior year though, right?
Yeah, sophomore year we lost by 4 to Fisher.
Yeah. And then junior year, that was a heartbreak.
I think they ended up being 3 points because they stole the inbound and scored.
Yeah.
It was down 1. And then
let's hold off on senior year for a second before we get there. So junior year was the crushing defeat.
Yeah.
How about individually? Were you getting all conference at that point?
Yes, I was all conference. I was second team all conference.
That was, you're gonna call it the most crushing defeat of your college career.
Yeah, most,
because you guys were clearly the better team that day.
By far.
And you had beat Fisher to get to the championship.
Yep.
Yeah. So you come around one last run your senior year, probably your most talented team, right? So we have B Fox. Brandon Fox shows up as a freshman. The B Fox was a monster.
Brandon the Black Hole Fox.
Yeah, but he didn't like to pass, but for good reason.
For good reason.
The boy got buckets. B Fox came in. MGB, Manny Otabella.
MGB, boy.
Manny came in.
Big time right there.
So you saw Jimmy. You had Big Show. This is when Big Show got in shape. Jimmy was in the best shape of his life.
We had Yair Gal still there. We had Goran was there still. But senior year, that's senior year. B Fox, Manny, Big Show, Yair, Goran, myself, Jimmy, Ilya,
Sam Bard,
Sammy B. Yeah, that was the squad.
That was your best team, talent wise, probably.
I wouldn't say best team all around. Yeah, Alan Campbell.
Yeah.
Alan Campbell. Yeah. Talent wise, yeah.
And what was the result? This was your last chance to get a championship and go to nationals.
Yeah. So we go through the year. I'm playing great. I'm having the best career season of my entire college career. Points wise, rebound wise, assist wise. Get to the Final Four. We're playing at New Hampshire. We're playing in New Hampshire. And first round is against Machias. Just ran over those guys. They weren't ready. We was zoned in. It was my senior year. We was focused on getting a chip. So we got over Machias. Then we go into playing against Fisher College. Okay, the arch nemesis. And here I am, my senior year. And I'm going up against Stephen Rice.
Baller.
Okay, Stephen Rice, my rookie of the year nemesis again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, throughout the whole 4 years, we kind of battled and it was good. So going up against Steve Rice, they lost Newcomb, they lost Perry, but they got this guy named Brandon, and then they had this other kid on there that can shoot the ball. But they had a squad. They did, and we came up short. That game. We battled. I think we lost by like 4 again. We never lost.
It was never a blowout. It was always a close game.
Always close games, and they finished better than we did down the stretch. That's all it came down to. I think I could have been a 3-time Sunrise Conference champ if we could have just finished down the stretch. We always seem to fall apart at the last 2.5 minute mark. And it just...
And the worst part of it is what happened the next year after you graduate.
These fools go and win the championship.
And go to nationals.
Oh, my God. But I felt good because, you know what? I was still so committed to that team. And shout out to S. I appreciate it, Coach. When I graduated and I moved down to Bangor, it had some trips where they would be going to Vermont. And Coach would call me and Coach would say, hey, we're going to Vermont. Or we're going to be playing in town. What are you doing? Can you get off work? And he will pick me up right in Bangor. I get the weekend off. I'll tell my boss, I'm working at St. Joe's at the time, get the time off and jump on the bus and go to Vermont with the team on the weekend. And, kind of was like an honorary assistant coach, so to speak. Yeah. Which was great. It was good trips. I still, wanted to be a part of the team. And then Coach, they made it to the championship. And I drove down there, so it couldn't have been that far. Forgot where they played that championship game, but I drove there, so it must have been in the state. When we get down there, and just being in the stand, kind of looking on and seeing them go to work. Man, he had a great game. B Fox was rocking. Yep. Big Show did his thing. JJ was JJ. Yeah. But they balled out, man. They balled out. They deserve it. I lost my voice before the game even got to halftime. But yeah, I was happy. I was excited. I finally felt like, we did it, even though I wasn't there. But I was happy because I felt like I at least contributed to some of the growth of some of those guys.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, you kind of like a honorary assistant coach, but you had some great assistant coaches when you were playing there.
Man,
you mentioned Jeff Kinney earlier, but you also had a moment where Chad Gervais and Derek Cooper were your assistant
Gervais and Derek Cooper.
Both of them are big time alums. Let me hear what a pep talk from your assistant coaches, Derek Cooper and Chad Gervais. Like, I'm guessing they had different styles.
Well, the thing is, you got Coach S, right? So you got Eric. Eric is going to come in and Eric is going to give you the typical head coach approach. Guys, here are your matchups. Okay, this is what this person likes to do. This is the schemes that we're running. The typical stuff. So you expect it. And then, we're walking out, we're going down if we're in the jungle and we're walking out down the hallway and, you got Derek Cooper that'll pull you aside and be like, whoa, what's up, Coop? He's got a guard Louis today. Ready for this? Yeah. Guarding multiple times. Nah, you don't like, you ready. You ready for this? Shit, Coop, calm down, yeah? I'm fired up. You're not fired up. Get fired up. So Coop was the one that I think he still felt like he was out there. Like he really talked to you like he was about to go out there and play next to you.
No doubt.
Which is great. He's a competitor. And then Chad is just I think of Chad when I think of Chad, man, I think of the commercial about the most interesting man in the world.
That's Chad.
Because Chad was just, he'd give you the super cool approach. Like, man, I'm coming in. Look, you about to play a game, but look at the kicks that I got on today. You see these, I just got these in. You know what I mean? If you play good, I might give you one. Just to kind of give you the relaxed vibe. It was a serious game. People got jitters. People got butterfly.
Yeah.
Cooper's gonna get you fired up and want you to run through a wall. And Chad would be the guy, like, if you were really like had jitters and butterfly, like, you just go and look at Chad and he'll probably say some off the wall funny stuff that kind of just take your mind away from stuff, So yeah, it was a good dynamic between all of them. Road trips was a blast.
Yeah.
Coop and his stories when we're on the bus. I
always say shit about peanut butter. We won't go
into that one, but just know that Coop is a peanut butter fan. I don't know if it's because he likes to work out on his protein.
Yeah.
On the bus, the stories weren't about protein when he talked about it. So
we'll leave it at that. I know. We're pretty much no censorship, but we don't want to get into that.
Yeah. Hey, what did Ethan ask me? I like Ethan. Ethan got no more for me.
Ethan do has another ask.
Yeah,
that's what I was transitioning
about to
to.
say. Let me see that.
So we talked about your UMFK career. We're going to get into your UMFK off the field career in a second. But before we do that, Ethan Raymond, step on up.
So you came from St. Kitts in the Caribbean up to fucking Fort Kent, Maine. How the hell did you adjust to the Arctic? Fucking sub-zero temperatures. Did you even own a jacket before you came to the States at all? Like, what the fuck was that even like? I can't even imagine.
It's a great question.
It's a beautiful question. So, Ethan, I haven't adjusted, and I've been here since 2005.
He's in my apartment right now with a winter jacket and a winter jacket on top of his winter jacket right now. No joke.
I got a coat, I got a hoodie, and I got a shirt underneath here. And I'm keeping warm. So I haven't adjusted to answer that part.
And the apartment is set at 76 degrees right now, and he's still layered up like this.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
And in regards to owning a jacket, I did own a jacket because, Trey told me it was going to get cold. But I owned a jacket that was a St. Kitts jacket. So
basically a windbreaker.
It was, like the starter jackets, the little starter jacket plastic windbreakers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple of those.
Yep.
Had a couple of those. It worked well on the first night, I can tell you that. But now that when you have CNN coming up there to report record-breaking snowfalls and taking out International Bridge, I wasn't ready for that type of winter.
Yes, you were around for the flood. You were around for some pretty crazy winters. But as cold as it got, let's hear about the nightlife in Fort Kent. Like, how quickly did you adjust? Because I know you adapted because you were in Round Point. You were going to Cabano.
Yeah.
You were going to house parties.
I went Costigans.
We were doing it all.
I went to Mocha Pay. Okay. I got kicked out of BJ's quite a bit because I wasn't old enough. And up until when I graduated college, I still wasn't old enough to actually be in a bar. Because I graduated before I was 21. So kind of interesting. But yeah, nightlife in Fort Kent, man. A couple of house parties. My man Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan Netto.
Shout out
On
to
top
Ryan
of Tommy
Netto.
D's. How about the community? Let's hear about Fort Kent. So
Fort Kent enough itself, huh? Fort Kent is it's a beautiful place. And I'm not just saying it because we're on this podcast about big time, but when you're coming from where I come from and coming from the Caribbean and growing up in in areas that I kind of grew up in, Fort Kent kind of changed my outlook on life a little bit. Helped me to be a little bit more trustworthy towards people a little bit, whereas I didn't really like people that much in regards to actually being able to trust somebody with certain things.
right.
But the community, I mean, it was awkward at first. I remember my first day walking on the streets of Fort Kent. Cars was passing and people were breaking their necks to look at me. And I remember my first time going to Paradise Shop and Save, and I was walking down one of the aisles, and this little kid kind of like was pointing and kind of looking at me.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel no type of way about it. I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Because that never happened to me. I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't in America to understand like the how people like actually the racial stuff and things like that. It just didn't matter to me. And the kid wasn't being inappropriate or anything like that. He's a little kid. He's just
didn't know no better. Yeah. We got to get to our other segment, which is actually officially sponsored, guys. Charlito Wonders, officially brought to you by Rock's Family Diner.
What?
I'm not shitting you.
How Charlito getting sponsored?
Charlie got sponsorship dollars.
I gotta give me a segment on this, man.
Yeah, people dropping the bags.
What's Ethan's segment?
Ethan Ass.
Ethan Ass and Charlie's what?
Charlito Wonders.
I find one, man. I'm a fine one, man.
So Charlito Wonders here on Big Time.
Yo, Wuggy, what's up, man? It's Charlito, your brother of a different color. Podcast, man. First international flavor on the podcast. It's a pretty big honor. Just wondering who out there in Fort Kent made your transition from St. Kitts to Northern Maine the easiest? To the group of guys, one individual. Who do you want to thank the most for making life smooth in Fort Kent, man?
Wow.
Great question.
It's an easy question.
I've never heard brother of another color.
Yeah, that's classic though. You might need to copyright that.
Yeah.
Might need to copyright, but
put it on the t-shirt.
It's a great question, but it's an easy answer for me. And it's pretty much the barge. I mean, Tom, and I know it's a podcast and stuff, and I don't want to be all sentimental and shit, but
That's cool. I'm cool, man.
nah, but you know,
I'm all right.
it was times where like, so I came in August, you know what I mean, and the people are around and everything's going great, but I'm a 17-year-old kid. It was Thanksgiving. We didn't go. Yeah, we went up to the bars that year. And you know what I mean, you guys treated me like I was one of your own. So in regards to making my whole experience in Fort Kent like easy, if I had to just pick one thing, it would be Tom, aka the Bards.
Yeah.
And that never changed. So it's like Christmas came around that year. My sister left. She went back home to celebrate Christmas with the family and stuff. But I stayed. And once again, I was in my dorm room, and you know what I mean, Tom called me up. What you doing, man? Come on, let's go. I'm outside. And we went up, and you know what I mean, I had Christmas meal. I fell in love with that green bean casserole.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Holiday tradition.
Yeah, green bean casserole by Mama Bard. And you know what I mean, I actually got a couple presents, a couple DVDs and stuff.
Oh,
and,
shit.
Yeah, she gave me a couple DVDs, and you know what I mean, it's those simple things that goes a long way. You know, Pam would stop by or send Tom in town with some pumpkin chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, cookies get you every time.
That was great. And then, you know, it's just a whole family vibes and feeling appreciated, feeling like, you know, people actually cared. So, you know, you guys family did. Yeah, you guys mean a lot to me.
No doubt. It's stuff
and
on Big
legs.
Time. And legs.
And legs. Legs.
Man.
Legs always, make sure, if I saw him and I was walking by, he gave me some of his finer magazines to expand my horizon.
Of the gentleman type.
Expand my horizon. Some of those, the magazines I really needed.
Legs that dude. So we're gonna do a little quick game to get up out of here. But before we do that, we didn't really touch on it. So you wrapped up your UMFK career with 3 straight defeats in the conference championship game. Yeah. Disappointment. Individually though, 1,000 points.
I mean, it's 13, 15 if you want to be
13,
exact.
15.
Yeah.
All conference second team, sophomore and junior year.
Yeah, senior year, I don't understand how I didn't get any kind of recognition.
No recognition?
I'm a vent my saltiness right now.
Nah, we don't have time. We don't,
top 15 in scoring.
We don't have time for that.
Top 15 in rebounds.
Nobody want to hear that.
Top 25 in assists.
There you go.
All right,
we've heard it.
I'm done. All right.
But not bad for a kid who came from the islands at 17 years old, weighing 144 pounds.
800 plus rebounds.
Yeah, only played 2 years of ball college. Only played 2 years of ball prior to arriving. So not bad. You did all right.
All right.
All right. So a couple things before we get up out of here. Actually, a couple things because this is a segment or part of the show we came up with Aaron Dumas. When you die, what jersey do you want to be buried in?
That is deep.
It's deep.
Damn,
it's deep.
That's kind of you planning on killing me?
Yeah.
When I die, what jersey I want? If I had a choice to be buried in a jersey, it got to be number 11.
UMFK.
It got to be the green and gold.
All right.
I mean, I would prefer if they'll make a special jersey for me.
Because you had ugly jerseys.
Them gold ones are shitty.
Yeah.
The white ones are.
Eric, that was the worst decision you ever made as head coach.
Get out of here with that. That gold.
The font was like a Crayola coloring.
Get out of here, coach. We thought they were fly though.
They're all right, but
nah. After you wash them, they started wrinkling. Coach, come on, man. Hey, epic fail.
Yeah.
But I would want to be. You know what? I would love to be I would love to be buried in a UMFK jersey, preferably a black one.
Okay, we'll go black.
Funeral.
Yeah, because they do have black ones now.
Black ones are nice. Yeah. I seen them.
All right, so okay, we can do that.
I haven't seen the number 11. But
maybe they got to save for you.
Yeah, save that for me.
Maybe just put a sign.
Tom Berg.
There you go. Make the call.
Number 11.
Also, let them know. What are you doing now? Let them know what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm in Bangor.
Yep.
I'm in Bangor, Maine. Bangor. Yep. And I do human resources for the utility company around here in Northern Maine.
Doing good thing. And molding the future youth. You're coaching a travel team and
man. I try to invest. Do a lot of volunteer work around here in regards to sports. So I coach a lot of travel teams in Bangor and in Levant. Do some rec stuff out there as well. They keep me busy. I start officially. I'm an AAU coach.
Yeah.
Officially with Black Bear North.
And that's the program in the state right there.
Program, so they gave me the call up. I guess I've been.
It's just until Braxton hits AAU age, and then we're gonna form our own team called. We're gonna call it Gang Green because we're Bengals with bleed green, so we're gonna call it Gang Green.
Once Braxton's ready to do, even if from the time he can make a layup on a regular size hoop, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm tired. Straight, I'm tired. Brax.
It's coming. Well, before quit name dropping because that's what we're gonna close out here with. All right, okay. I'm gonna run through a bunch of names.
Okay.
First thing that come to mind, just it can be a one single word or just something real quick.
I'm gonna give you all kinds of single words here.
All right, we're gonna just kind of go with guys that during your time from Fort Kennett and beyond. We'll start with the dude who got you here, Tregonza Henry, the original St. Catition.
OG.
Okay. Big Show, also a St. Catition.
My brother.
Eric Warrington, head coach.
The boss.
Jeff Kinney, assistant coach.
Funny dude.
Okay. Derek Cooper.
Diesel.
Chad Gervais.
C cuts.
Okay.
C cuts.
Still nice with them Clippers.
C cuts.
Jimmy Lopez.
Wow. That's all I can say on that one.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Samuel Bard.
Sammy Steroids.
Okay. All right. How about big bro Charlito?
Charlito. FK finest.
Always. How about Joey Bard?
Joey Bard. That's Papa, man. Like It ain't much I can say about Joey and Legs. It's like, yeah, that's Pops.
All right. How about Pambard?
Don't need to say it. Speechless.
All right. Manny Otabella.
My guy. That's my bro.
All right. B Fox.
Pass the ball, B Fox. Pass the ball. Wow.
BJ's Tavern.
The spot.
Spot. Always.
The spot.
China Garden.
Coconut shrimp.
Floyd Century Theater.
Jeez, Twilight. I think that was like the first movie I went in there and watched.
Oh God. It was actually, we went on a double date. That was the first date I went Amber.
Oh my God, it might be Twilight, right?
All right, you know what? It? Let's shut it down. Was that it? Michigan's down 6 with 10 minutes to go. I gotta watch the game here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, one more time.
Yeah.
Camille Wuggy Bassue. On Big Time.
Luke Skywalker.
Thank you for coming through. Any last words before we get up out of here?
Keep it going, man. Keep it going. You know, anytime you want we should do we should host one when we're interviewing somebody, and I should just be here. Pop-up guest.
Yeah.
Can I get like a pop-up guest status? You don't have to put me on the payroll.
All right. Yeah. There's not enough money for that anyway, so.
I'm just saying. You need a sponsor?
Yeah, we do. Ethan Ass needs a sponsor, and I could always use bags of money. So
I don't know about bags.
Yeah.
I could get you a couple.
But the sponsorship dollars are going to good. Like, if you guys can see right now, we got new microphone stands.
It's a nice little setup.
Yeah, you guys going to see that.
I mean, the only knock I have on the setup is that I ain't had I'm a Hennessy type of guy. I settled for the vodka. But Amber came through in the crunch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mix me a little something before I go, guys. If you're gonna be drinking, drive responsibly.
It's St. Patty's Day.
Put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Safety first. Okay. Make sure you know what's going on. But it's St. Patty's Day, so
Wuggy's gonna go get his Irish on.
About to go get fucked up.
All right. All right, there you go. Great words for the youth. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for another big episode as always. But with that, this has been Big Time.
Big Time.